Hey guys, I hope you enjoy the video. If you do, make sure you like and subscribe. I've got some beginner's guides coming out for every class and spec and WoW, coming probably the next month or so. So keep your eyes out for that, but otherwise in the meantime, hope you enjoy the tier list. So, I'm doing something a little different today. I have spent 2 weeks, I think, leveling every single class to level 70. Except for 3. I'm almost done. I'm just burnt out. I don't want to level anymore right now. I'm going to, but I need a break. So today, I decided, let's make a tier list. Let's decide together as a class what works, what doesn't, what's fun. And this is purely opinion, obviously. It wouldn't be anything but opinion because everybody likes what they like. And I know good and fucking well what I don't like now. So, and do, you know, not crazy. I set my tier list up in a way that I think meant more to me. For me, I'm not as heavy into the end game, so for me it's all about like how does a class feel as a whole. I don't care about meta. I don't care about, well, you'd be crazy not to play. I don't care. I want to have fun when I play this game. That's always been the case. I've been playing WoW since 2005, and I'm still deciding what I actually like. I would definitely consider Druid my main, but that's because I like options. I like choices. Resto's fun, Guardian's fun, Feral is now fun out of nowhere. Still won't really fuck with balance, but we'll get to that. So, starting off as easy as I can, we have the different tiers here that I've made. So S tier, my top tier is going to be a must play. These are like the most fun I've had in the game. They're going to be probably the classes that I would recommend to anybody to play at least once. This is definitely going to be the ones that I will find myself going back to for all the endgame content. Fun is going to be my A tier, which is classes that I enjoyed so much while leveling, but I don't know for sure if I'm going to run them back as, you know, full-time alts, or if it's just going to end up being more of a you know, I had a good time, thanks for the memories kind of thing. Decent is, it was somewhat of a slog getting it through the leveling system to the point that when I got to 70 I was like, that's it for me for that character for now. Like maybe in later patches I'll come back to it, for now that's all I can do. Never Again is definitely gonna be my D tier. This is the bottom tier for me. This is DNF, because Never Again is classes that I played that I would not touch with a 10-foot pole ever again. Certain specs fall into this where not necessarily full classes, but there's a few where full classes will fall into the Never Again category, and that's fine. Once again, it's my opinion. And then there are some that even now, after leveling almost every class to 70, I still have not played in terms of specs. So we'll have a few in there, select few, not a whole lot at this point. Haven't played is also going to include classes that I have played before Dragonflight, or specs that I've played before Dragonflight that I have not played in Dragonflight yet, because I know most of these classes that I've played during this slog of a leveling situation, most of them are incredibly different than they were even in even in Shadowlands, so I can't really speak on them if I haven't played this expansion yet. So keep that in mind. So let's just start it. Let's just go in. And this is funny. This tier list is set up like this already in terms of the icons. The first class that I leveled in Dragonflight, and I have no idea why, was a Death Knight. I fully planned on going in with my Druid first, but I told a buddy I would wait for him with the Druid, and so I picked a new class to play with first, and I picked Death Knight. And for the life of me, I don't know why. I don't even like Death Knight. They can be fun, they can be interesting, I think more or less in PvP than anything. So I went with Death Knight first. So going right off the bat for the first one, we have Blood. Blood is what I'm currently spec'd in as Death Knight. Blood is actually what made me stop playing my Death Knight. And now that's going to seem mean, but it is probably the most boring tank in my opinion. Especially when you're soloing. Like a lot of the time I played Blood, I was doing the world content and stuff, and it was cool, but there was no big damn, it was just like, all right, I'm still alive. It felt a lot like Guardian, but I wasn't a big furry bear. Blood is cool. I don't think it's fun. It's definitely not a must play. I'm gonna call Blood decent. It's fun, you know, it's fun in the way that you're gonna stay alive. That's a good tank trait. That's excellent. But otherwise, it's kind of meh. It's just okay. Next is Frost. Frost is something that I was in love with through the last 2 expansions, because Frost, while it's not necessarily a meta spec for Death Knight, Frost was fun. Frost is probably the most fun. It's probably the first time I played Death Knight in PvP. Somebody mentioned you should be playing Frost. This was in BFA. And so I was like, okay, switch to Frost, and it changed my life. Frost is nowhere near good enough to compete in most things right now. I think you know, Unholy obviously is like the way to go in PvP, and it's unfortunately just kind of fallen to the wayside. I still think Frost is fun. I think it's just a fun rotation. It feels good. You get these big burst windows that just make you feel powerful. Even if you're not as good as Unholy, you can't stay alive like you can as a Blood Paladin, or a Blood Death Knight. Frost still like caught my heart. I loved it to death. Then Unholy. Unholy is fucking great. Absolutely fantastic class, fun to play, big damage, huge burst rotation. PvP is the way to go. If I'm speaking on a pure leveling aspect, which I am, I mean, I went through Death Knights, all 3 specs while leveling started because I couldn't figure it out. I started with Frost, which I had a lot of fun with. Then I decided to go to Unholy, and I hated it because I couldn't stay alive anymore and I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know why. I do like Unholy. I do think that Frost is better, in my opinion, in terms of fun, in terms of like how much I enjoyed actually playing the class. I think that there are a lot of people that probably enjoy Unholy more than I do. I'm going to put Unholy in decent as well. You should play it because it's the way to go. Do I think it's that fun? Not really. It's so many buttons to keep up with. It is so much to do in order to be competitive versus something like Frost that I just don't think it is that fun, if I'm being completely honest. But that's just me. Again, this whole list is going to be completely opinionated, not very informative. It's just me speaking on my experiences. So coming up we have Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter's weird to me. I played Demon Hunter legitimately for the first time this expansion, and I do feel like I missed out on something. I feel like I should have been playing them a little bit earlier because I feel like they are really good this expansion. But so let's start off with Havoc. So for me, Havoc is probably the more fun of the two. It's just insanely fun to play. It's powerful. There were some nerfs that came out recently that kind of pushed me away from the class a little bit. Plus, there's 2 main ways to play the class. There's the Vengeful Retreat method, which for me was a little bit too timing centric. Like, you had to time your Vengeful Retreat and your other cooldown like just right, and be looking at the mob just right to be able to get the most out of it. And I don't like that kind of dynamic with my play. But there was a second class, like they call that one the Zoomer and the other one the Boomer. The Boomer was just mad damn all eye, you know, like it was fun. It was a ton of fun. But ultimately at the end of the day, very, very fun class. I'd even say Vengeance is a must play. Havoc is a must play. Havoc was so much fun for me this X pack. Even with the nerfs, I still enjoy going back. PvP feels pretty good with it, with all the 3 stuns that you have available. It's just a ton of fun. Vengeance, on the other hand, if I'm being honest, I haven't played it as much, if at all, in this X pack. And I'm not even going to pretend like I played it enough to count it. So this is going to be my first that goes in I haven't played. I'll get to it, but as for right now, I have not played that this X pack. I had too much fun with Havoc while I was leveling and beyond to even get to Vengeance at this point. So moving on to my darling, to my druid, to my baby. Alright, let's get it out of the way right now. I have not played Boomy this X pack. I haven't played Boomy since Legion. I think since Legion. Yeah, Boomy was fun for me. I liked it in Legion, but I know it's so much different now, and I hear it's unplayable. I hear it needs to be nerfed. I've heard every aspect of it. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. I will get to it. I promise I will get to it. But it's not today. It might be tonight. I got some time. That sounds kind of fun, actually. Now, going forward, Feral has been what's brought me back already. Just yes, must play. Feral brought me back to the World of Warcraft. I love my druid, but I have been kind of trapped playing a guardian since BFA. Like, I have to play my bear because Feral was broken. Feral was just unusable for so long. I like Resto. I enjoy Resto, but healing stresses me out. I've never enjoyed healing, so Resto wasn't really in the question for me. And Boomy, again, I haven't really played Boomy since Legion, so I was always trapped as a guardian until Dragonflight. Now all of a sudden, Feral is the most fun that I think I've had in this game in a long time. And yes, it's broken, and yes, the nerfs that came out on Tuesday were important, but I still love it. Even after the nerfs, I don't think it's as crazy fun as it was, but I am absolutely falling head over heels for Feral. For the first time, maybe ever. I don't think before this expansion I've ever enjoyed Feral, so that's great. I'm still going to call Guardian a fun class. No, I'm not. It's just bias at that point. It's decent. Guardian's not fun. Guardian is useful. It's one of the best tanks that you can play, I think, in raiding, because the self-heal I know has been nerfed over the years, but like self-heal is great, but you just don't die. You are a stone wall that swings around in stupid furry paws and does like no fucking damage, but you are a brick stone wall that cannot be killed. I love that. For me, playing a tank, that's what I want. I don't want to die. I don't want to worry about it. Once we get to Prot Warrior, I'll talk a lot about that, but right now Guardian's always been my favorite tank. There's a few close seconds, but I do in my heart love Guardian as it is. So next we're going to get to Resto Druid. I actually recently fell back into playing my Resto. I love Resto in terms of healing. Like I said, healing stresses me the fuck out. But Resto is something where I feel like I have enough movement. Like I can actually move and keep my eyes on things. I still have access to bear form if I want to run a quick Fringe of Regeneration. I think it's a really fun healing spec. I think it's less stress than some of the other healing that I've played. Less, I have less to worry about up front. Maybe I have a little bit more in terms of buttons to click compared to some classes. But ultimately, I think Resto has been a really fun time, especially I've been running 2s with a good buddy of mine, and he's wanting to try out his warrior. It's been a lot of fun healing his warrior through some shit, so that's been enjoyable for me. Going from there to the new class Evoker, I do really enjoy Draktheirs and their lore. I really like the Evokers as a class, but being completely honest, I have just recently gotten mine to 70. I have not put a lot into it. I have not, let's just get this out of the way, have not played Preservation yet, and I know that's why I don't like them very much right now, because I know Prevoker is like the play. That's what my buddy plays. He either plays as warrior or plays a Prevoker. Prevoker and Feral in 2s has been ridiculous. Absolutely awesome, fun, good time. But I just haven't gotten around to it yet. It's not my cup of tea. Once again, healing, yeah. Devastation, however. I went through a roller coaster with Devastation. I enjoyed it leveling from probably from 60 to 67, and then I just felt like I was like, boom, so weak. Like I felt like nothing was dying. I felt like I was doing the same rotation, but most classes, it's like the more talents that you're adding on, the better you get. But I felt like the bottom of the Evokers, the Devastation Evokers tree, was worthless, and I felt like I was just doing less and trying harder. I wasn't a fan of Devastation Evoker. Towards the end, I told myself, I don't know if I'll ever play this class legitimately. I don't know if I'll ever actually get out in the world and use it. And so, with it being sad as it is, I think Devastation Evoker is going to be my first, never again. There's just no place for it in my heart. It's not there yet. It needs to be. I think their trees need to be reworked, and they weren't at all in this patch. And I know they aren't. Death Knights weren't reworked in Lich King until the following expansion, so I know it's going to take some time. But for now, it's not it. It's not for me. Sorry. Next is Beast Mastery. So Hunter was my main the last 2 expansions. I got kind of sick of playing Guardian non-stop, and so it's hard swapping between my Druid and my Hunter. My mom decided, or she played Hunter, and it kind of made me want to. So starting a Beast Mastery, I know I played Beast Mastery a bit, probably around Legion with the like Order Hall shit. I did enjoy Beast Mastery back in the day, but once I think Marksmanship got buffed in BFA, late BFA, and Marksmanship became the play, I was like, oh shit. Marksmanship definitely became my go-to class. But this expansion, I have once again gone back to Beast Mastery, and holy shit, it is insane the amount of damage you can do as a Hunter. I ran through leveling from 60 to 70 with a Hunter faster than I did with almost every other class, because with the pets, I can pull anything and everything, and if I die, I fucked up. It has nothing to do with, I think Beast Mastery Hunters are a little bit OP. I mean, like, they are forces to reckon with, especially if you got the right pets. I have nothing but good things to say about them. And I would say for any new player, returning player, anybody looking for a good time and like 4 buttons to click, must play Beast Mastery. I think absolutely. For leveling, it was the easiest and probably the quickest and most fun time I had, because I didn't have to worry about shit. My pets kept me alive and I kept them alive. It was synergy at its finest. Definitely must play Beast Mastery. Survival. In my entire time as a WoW player, I have never played Survival. Not one time have I switched into Survival. And I should. I should say this. All of these haven't played classes. My goal is to get out there and actually play them. I'm creating class guides for YouTube. And in order to do that, I'm going to need to know all the specs of every class. So I will get to these and actually put some time into them and learn them, but not yet. For now, that's just where it is. I haven't played Survival. Marksmanship. I'm going to speak on this as a Dragonflight player, not as a old buddy of Marksmanship. Marksmanship really took the fuck in Dragonflight. I felt like when I was playing Marksmanship at the beginning, when I tried my Hunter in the beginning, that I was playing a completely different class. They've nerfed the things that made me feel good, and they've buffed things that I don't think needed to be buffed, and just things that are useless in my opinion. Which, once again, I mean, maybe that's just me, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's a great class, but for me, I didn't enjoy it as much. I still think it's decent. I don't think it's a bad class, but I'm just bummed that it's not where it used to be. It's not as fun as it used to be. Beast Mastery is definitely more fun for almost every reason. But I won't harp on that too much. Now we are at Mage. Mage. This was rough for me. So I've always wanted a Mage. I've always wanted to try and push a Mage main. Once again, my mom played Mage for a while. She loved it. But every time I play Mage, I go through the same thing. What do I want to play? Do I want to throw ice bolts at people? I want to pyroblast people? Or do I want to play this confusing fuck-ass class of Arcane? Well, then they fucking released Dragonflight. And Arcane, it's this total rework, and it's fucking insane. Like, I can't even compare. Arcane is hands down the best class for Mage right now. There's some confusion about, like, well, there's, it's between this and this. No, Arcane is the best class for Mage. It is. It hits like a truck. The problem is I, call me crazy, like simple classes. I played Guardian for so long. I have played Hunters. I play shit where it's like button. That was fun. Mage, Arcane Mage, was like, here's 3 different cooldown, or what do they call them? Like waves of cooldown windows that you have. It's big burst, regain, small burst, regain, and you have to keep up with so much shit with Arcane that it kind of ruins the experience for me. I loved Arcane the first hour I played it, and then the more I was like, I'm just thinking so much about the buttons I'm hitting. I'm not looking at what I'm standing in. My health is dropping because I'm not paying attention, because I'm like, shit, what was I supposed to hit here? It kind of took everything away from the fun for me. I don't think I could ever play Arcane in a PvP situation without, I don't think they're used for PvP, but like, I don't think I ever could. And for raids, yes, the burst window is great for bosses, but like, there's no cleave practically. It just felt like the biggest, awesome, best damage that you can get out of a mage, but at what cost? At how much brain power do I have to use Arcane? And I mean that's kind of funny with the name, but for me, Arcane isn't ever again. The Fire Mage, I did not even play it when I was leveling my mage. I actually spec'd into it and I got my talent set up, and then I realized, well, maybe I should try Arcane first since I haven't yet. And so I didn't even get to playing it, ended up going to Arcane, hated it after a few hours, went back to Frost. Frost, on the other hand, is fucking fun. Frost is very simple. It's like 4 buttons. If you spec into it right, if your talent synergies are good and everything, you can play Frost with the cleave alone. Like in terms of Mythic Plus builds, I imagine Frost has to be one of the best, because you get any sort of group together and you throw, I mean, that instant blizzard alone, oh, it's so much fun. Just regular dungeons are fun with that class. So I think for me, Frost takes the cake. Arcane's stronger, Arcane's better, Frost is more fun. And I think that's important to remember. I think it's not always about what's best. You just have to be having fun. It's a video game. This is a video game first and foremost. Yes, it's a lifestyle, but it's a fucking video game. So for me, it's always Frost. Frost is just fun. Monk. Oh man. I feel like every one of these classes I have just like a horror story in my head, and I don't know why, and I apologize. But let's get into Monk. So Monk is funny. I have leveled 4 monks. None of them to cap level until this expansion. I always get to the point where I'm either not having fun or I do something else and I never come back, or I've just never enjoyed playing monks, and I finally found out why recently. Apparently monks are one of the classes that really benefit from the bottom tiers of their talent trees, especially in Dragonflight, because I decided to go for monk. Again, I've been leveling every class. Monk was on the list. I decided against Windwalker. I am a DPS at heart, but I do love tanking. I hate healing. I love tanking. So I avoided Mistweaver. I do like Mistweaver for leveling, especially early leveling. If you're just running dungeons and stuff, Mistweaver's easy. But Windwalker obviously was the go-to for me. I've never tried Brewmaster. I tried it once in the past, but before this expansion, I've never really played it hardcore. And so I decided for leveling a monk, I was going to go from 60 to 70 as a Brewmaster. Holy fuck. Brewmaster, all right, you know what? Let me just get this out of the way. Have not played this expansion. Sorry, Mistweaver. I will get to you, I promise. Brewmaster is fucking insane. I keep seeing people say like, oh, well, they have the worst self-heals. Fine, but you still have them. You can absolutely still stay alive as a Brewmaster. I think 2 times I died, and one of the times I was totally my fault. Just like learning the class and I fucked up. But the second time I died, I just pulled too much. It was that elite area near Ascara. I just I pulled a lot of shit and I just couldn't survive. But I mean, that's it. Otherwise, I was alive nonstop. You just got to get good at your stagger. Like if you can learn how to maintain your stagger, heal off of it. They have good weak auras that are really good for your dispel harm. It's a great class, and I can see myself actually taking with this one in Mythic Plus and stuff like that. This is the must play for me. Brewmaster is the first time I have loved playing a monk ever since their release, ever. And I know that's a controversial thing because a lot of people, my best friend loves his monk. It's his favorite class, second favorite class, which is great. I love this one. Windwalker, I'm gonna say that it's decent. It's really fun for some people. Some people really like this class, but I don't. It's too many fucking buttons. It's too many cooldowns. Too much to keep up with. You can say the same for Brewmaster, and that's fine. But Brewmasters is like, it's like a wave. Like, you know, when you're in the middle of the wave, you're kind of crunching more, but then you're kind of got this ebb and flow feel of like, let me heal myself and dispel my stagger. And there's this like, you know, kind of ebb and flow to it. Windwalker, just, my friend put it the best. Windwalker's great You don't even have a rotation. Just don't click the same button twice in a row, and you're doing a good job as Windwalker. And that I don't like. I like a bit of order. I mean, of everything, and I'll show you guys later. I have my bars set up the same for every fucking character. The same things are in the same spot every time. Even, you know, like I don't really run macros because I know where everything is, and if I run a macro, I really have to work it in there to not confuse myself. So, not for me. Fun, I mean, I guess, but what removes the fun factor for me is the amount of cooldowns, the amount of buttons I have to click in order to successfully play this class. Not for me, sorry. Moving on, Holy Paladin. Haven't played it since Shadowlands, so I won't speak on it. This is one that I'm looking to come back and try. I really enjoyed Holy Paladin in Shadowlands. Again, I don't like to heal very much, but Holy Paladin was it was kind of cool. A little bit of a learning curve for me for that one. Once I got it, I felt very comfortable with it. Prot Pally, I don't think Prot Pally is fun. Gonna say it. It's cool. It's a great tanking class, but in terms of fun tanks, it's kind of like Blood for me, where it's like, yeah, I'm alive, but I am not doing anything. I'm not doing anything worthwhile. I don't even feel like I'm trying, and that for me is not fun. I mean, personally, it's not fun to feel like I'm just getting away with being alive. But Ret Pally, they have done very good things for Ret Pally in this expansion. Ret Pally for the first time feels like I'm not just clicking two buttons. I am, but at least it feels fun. I don't know how to explain it either. Ret Pally is something where I've always hated on it. It's always just felt like the squishiest piece of shit. And now everybody wants it nerfed because it can one-shot two people at the same time. Which, look, that's bad. But I don't know. I don't main them. You know, don't yell at me. I do think they're very fun, though. Paladin is a class that I've kind of always avoided. Not for any personal reasons. I just have other classes I'd rather play. And we'll get to those. Coming to Priest. So Priest, I will tell you, is one that I have only just now started to level. I have played a Priest a couple of times, only ever Shadow. I've never played Disc. I've never played Holy. I will, but I haven't. It's just what it is. It's how it be. That's what it do. I will get to these. Shadow, on the other hand, they have turned Shadow into probably one of my favorite caster classes in the game. And that's saying a lot. As you can tell from this list, I don't play a lot of casters. I have always been the hardcore melee. It's just what I like. Hunter is the closest thing to a caster that I've really played before this full time. That's it though. In Shadow, I'm gonna put it up in the must play category. I think more people need to really look into Shadow, especially towards endgame. Been playing more and more PvP, and when I went up against the first Shadow Priest, I was like, pfft. And then I got fucked by it. I mean, absolutely catastrophe, fucking disaster. I'm dead. And me and my friend were like, what just happened? And I looked at the damage, and I figured out what happened, and it was this motherfucker. They hurt, and they're fun. Their rotation's fun. There's so many different ways to play out their talent tree to really make it feel different. I just really am enjoying this class. This is what I'm actually currently leveling now. This is one of the 3 I have left. And I think I might switch over here to a healing spec and insta queue myself all the way to 70 for this run. But for now, Shadow is excellent. Moving on to Rogue. Fun story to start this one. Isn't that surprising? I fucking hate playing Rogue. It is my least favorite class. I just feel like a squishy little kitten that's popping out of the covers and going meow and then running away. I don't like the playstyle, and I know what you're gonna say. Outlaw is so much better. Assassination is so much different than playing a subtlety rogue. I don't care. They all feel like shit to me. I understand there's people that like these things, but I cannot stand it. I can't do fuck. I mean, I remember going through the first quest once you get off the ship from Dragonflight and dying 4 times. I was just like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? I spent so much time setting the talent trees, getting my poisons right and everything. I spent so much time watching videos to figure out what I'm hitting wrong. I couldn't figure it the fuck out. It's the longest I've ever spent on a character for no fucking results. I'm over it. Fuck you. Fuck you. I hate rogues. They're not cool. I don't like it. It's fucking lame. Sorry. This one is going to be kind of silly, and it's all my fault, and I'm sorry, but this is on my list. By the way, Rogue is one of the last 3 that I have to go through, and I am not fucking excited about it. But elemental, what is it? Elemental Resto Shami in fuck, what is the other shaman? Shaman specs. Shaman. I can't believe I can't think of enhancement. Fucking damn it. So elemental enhancement and resto. My shaman is the only one I have that is still parked in Zereth Mortis. And I feel bad. The shaman is the first class in Shadowlands I had to the cap level, and I couldn't stand it because they're very weak, very squishy, and once again I'm not used to playing a caster, and so for me, I immediately switched just playing something else. I think it was my druid probably or my hunter, but so unfortunately I have to keep adding to the have not played, and this is embarrassing. Okay, I'm getting to it. I just haven't done it yet. There's so much game left for me to play. I work a full-time job, people, but I mean, still, it's a little ridiculous. Warlock, I love Warlock. I said that this is my favorite caster. Wrong. Warlock will always be the best caster for many reasons. One, I have never played a class where every spec is viable. Yes, there are better. Demonology is definitely the way to go with Warlock, although I have not looked at the 10.0.5 patch notes. I think they might have gotten nerfed. But either way, Demonology, very, very fun, fucking sane. But then Destruction, goddamn big damn. I mean, I remember my Warlock was the first one in in Shadowlands that I got full tier on. And I mean, I was fucking chaos bolting things out of my ass. Like, I didn't even know that I could do that much damage in this game. Fun class. And then I accidentally went Affliction one time and had a goddamn good time doing it. I think Affliction was like accidentally one of the most fun I had had in a long time in this game. I was just like, it's just bleeding. Like, it's just it's in pain and it's my fault. It was very exciting. But if I had to tier these out, fucking must play Demonology. Destruction is very fun, and Affliction is decent. It's just how it is. Demonology, you have to. It is fucking bananas. Just constant shit everywhere. You just have so many creatures. It's like you're having a party, and you didn't even have to invite your friends. They just were already there. They showed up without you having to send an invite. Feels goddamn good. Now we get to the first class I ever made in the World of Warcraft, way back in 05. Yes, Vanilla WoW. I played a warrior because I was a fucking idiot. Didn't know it at the time, but I know it now. So, warrior. I've been really going through it this season. So let me just start off by saying, have not protted this season. Prot, my least favorite tank anyway. Kind of feels like you're a punching bag made out of the same texture as like a water balloon. Just like, yes, you can maybe put like your fist through me once, but I am gonna pop. So I haven't even tried. I will, but I haven't. So that's just how it is. Now I have been going through the ringer with these two. Arms and Furies. Fury and Arms, Sharms, Uri. So I started out as Arms. When I was playing Arms at level 60, running through the initial bullshit in the Dragonflight questing, I could not stay alive. I just couldn't. I didn't have the best gear coming out of Shadowlands. I really didn't play my warrior much in Shadowlands. So I think I was only like I scored like 150, 160. Not good. And so it was a little rough for that reason. But ultimately, there's just no defensive cooldowns for Arms. Yes, it's big damage, but you better be geared. You better have all those fucking talents. I mean, otherwise, good fucking luck. I don't think Arms was very fun for me. For leveling aspects, again, all of this is leveling. Yes, some in-game talk here, but like, Arms for me, decent. Fun, yes, sometimes, but only if you're alive. And that was the hardest part of Arms for me, was being alive. Which, I'm saying that really shouldn't be that hard. It shouldn't be that hard to be alive. I get it. It's not a self-heal class. But Fury, motherfucker. Oh my god. I've never had so much fun playing a warrior in my life. I just am I'm just like, bah, 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 heal, bah, bah, heal, bah. It's just nothing stays alive except for me. And that is fucking fun. It is absolutely the most fun I had with a melee DPS in this expansion. Even my druid getting it to 70 wasn't that fun. It just wasn't. It just wasn't that fun. I think the closest obviously was the Havoc Demon Hunter. But fucking Fury Warrior, man, like, I didn't want it to end. And then when I got to 70, I was the first and only class up to that time that I decided to do a little bit more after I hit 70 before moving on to the next class to start leveling. So that was interesting. But I think Fury Warrior is absolutely a must play. These are in no specific order, by the way. I can put them in an order, I guess. But as of right now, this is just as is. It's just sitting as it is because this is how I feel. This is how they came up. If I was to put this must play in any kind of order, yes, Fury first. I'd probably do Shadow, Demonology. No, you know what? Demonology and then Shadow. Then do that. Yeah, I think that's probably where I'd be. Fury Warriors is very, 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 very fun. Demonology is just a go-to caster in my opinion. It is one of the coolest casters to play. You have so many fears and so many just things to help you enjoy yourself. Shadow has turned into one of the coolest caster classes to play in my opinion. Havoc Demon Hunter is just all out fun. It is something where it's just you're very powerful and you feel like it. And as soon as you get those big burst windows for your cooldowns and stuff, you feel like a god or a demon. Really cool. Brewmaster, one of the most surprising classes of this entire expansion. I think it is tons of fun. I just hit 70 with it recently, and I haven't gotten a lot of time to play it in game, but that's my next goal, is to play this Brewmaster and things like Mythic Plus and maybe LFR and stuff like that, and try and build myself up, get it geared, and see what I can do with it. I really am enjoying it so far. My Feral is the #1 thing I've been playing this expansion. I always recommend Feral now. Even after the nerfs, it's still a great class. About 1400 rated in 2s. And that's been a ton of fun playing with my friends again and doing PvP, which I know he loves. I haven't loved PvP since Panda, I think. So for me, it's been fun getting back into PvP again. And then Beast Mastery is just a good starter class. It's a good easy class. Sometimes we need a break from leveling the hard ones, looking at you, Brewmaster. But this is a good break because you feel strong still. You don't feel like it's you know, a holy paladin or blood Death Knight where you're just kind of taking for granted being alive. It feels good. It looks good. It is good. Definitely something to play, in my opinion. I would definitely look at Beastmaster over any of the other ones. I won't worry about tiering any of these out in order, but that's my list. That's where I'm at for right now. I know this is probably something that nobody will agree with, but I don't care. Once again, it's my opinion. But if you don't agree with it, please let me know why, and I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings. But anyway, I'm gonna take a pause for now. Maybe playing a little bit of WoW, which I'll have to change my channel for that. But I'll see you all in a little bit.